NHL product at Electronic Arts was a byproduct of the John Madden football product. When we finished the John Madden football title on the Sega Genesis in 1990, it was clear we had a little time left over, and one of the products we talked about was doing the hockey game I wanted to build anyway. So that's kind of how it got started.
The first game was NHL hockey, and it had player numbers. We showed that game at the 1991 Stanley Cup Finals in Pittsburgh, and they set it up in the media room. The press is playing the game. It was an immediate hit.
At that very first kind of coming out party at the 1991 Stanley Cup Finals, Neil Smith, who was the general manager of the New York Rangers, came over, started playing the game between the first and second period, and forgot to go back to the game. That was kind of the first highlight where we understood we had a certain acceptance within the league that was going to be unusual.
In that year that we did NHL hockey, we delivered 4 titles. The original Madden video game, Joe Montana Football for Sega, the first NHL hockey, and Madden 92. We delivered all 4 of those in 12 months with 1 programmer and 3 of us doing the design and production, and just a handful of artists.
We probably have something in the order of 60 people who work on art for NHL in a given year nowadays.
By '93, it was pretty apparent that these games were becoming a bigger and bigger deal.
Around NHL 94, the series had been out for a few years. That's probably the year that you started to see a lot more people come in and start playing the franchise. In the late 90s, we saw a lot of different challenges. Really, the big one was new game systems coming out, like the Sony PlayStation, and figuring out what we could do to put the games onto that platform and take advantage of that hardware. But really focusing on keeping that fast and furious gameplay.
The 2000s were interesting because it really accelerated doing better outside of North America as a product. It accelerated as a league did better. What we see now is a game that is very competitive with any sports product, and that perennially is a #1, #2 voted best sports product in the business.
We always used to sort of bet in-house, like, when do you think the last version of this game will be made? I think the furthest we went out was 1999.
If you had told me we were going to be shipping them 20 years later, were we going to still be talking about them 20 years later, I would have said there's just no way.